All right, just got back from my first run since the Boston Marathon, and quads and hammies are quite sore still, so still probably going to be taking it easy next week. I kind of wanted to get back into the routine and the swing of things next week, but I think it's going to be another chill week and just a 3 to 5 mile easy runs throughout the week, and then probably the following week I'll kind of get back into it. But it's Sunday, April 26th, and I finally got a chance to film the rest of this video. So this is just going to be a brief recap of race day and how it went for me. So I ran a 2:40. Wasn't my goal time, sadly. I mean, if you followed me throughout the series, you know I wanted to run a 2:37, which is a 6-minute flat pace. Ended up running a 2:40. Still very happy with the result overall, because Boston is a pretty tough course on the back half, and 2:40 is still a 4-minute PR, so I'm happy regardless. But let's just kind of dive into the start of the morning. So I got to the buses at around 6:35. First one was leaving at 6:45. I was trying to meet up with my buddy Rudy at the buses, but we couldn't find each other, so it didn't work out. And I was just thinking like, oh man, it's going to be so tough to find each other at Athlete Village. But anyways, got on the bus, pretty chill ride over. Got there, kind of waited around where we got off the buses to see if he was somewhat close behind me. Waited like 10 minutes, didn't see him. Went inside the Athlete Village, went to the outhouse, came back out, was walking to find a spot to sit. And there he was coming out of an outhouse. I'm like, oh, perfect timing. So glad we got to meet up, and then just kind of chilled for an hour. Wave one, got called to the start line, or to go to the start line. And that was actually a longer walk than I thought. I heard it was like a half mile, but it definitely felt longer. Rudy was in Corral 2, Wave 1, because he ran a little faster time than me. So I tried to get into Corral 2, and they immediately saw my bib. They're like, oh, Corral 3, go back. And then Rudy ended up joining me in Corral 3. We were like all the way at the back, so shout out to Rudy for doing that. Super crowded at the start. Flyover was pretty cool. Then the gun went off, and it took us like a minute to get to the start line. And that first mile was very crowded. I think the first mile was like a 6:10 or 6:12 or something. And I was like, oh no, this isn't good. I'm trying to run 6s or under 6. So after the first mile, though, it kind of opened up a little bit, and me and Rudy were kind of hopping around on the sidewalks and going around people, cruising along. The fans were crazy. The whole marathon, fans were just nonstop screaming, and that definitely helped a lot. Going through like mile 12 or 13, whenever Scream Tunnel is, that was the funnest I've ever had running in my life. There was a runner next to me, and he said, "This is your first Boston Marathon?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, dude, you gotta go give high fives in the Scream Tunnel." And so I'll just play the clip. But
come with it, you gotta do this.
sub 6 pretty much up until mile 16, and I was feeling so good. Mile 15, I started kind of feeling my hip flexure a little bit. I've had problem with it almost the whole block, but it was feeling good at the start. And then like mile 15, I think I told Rudy, I'm like, yeah, feeling pretty good. My hip's kind of starting to get a little sore though. And and then sadly after that, moved down to my my hammy, and that started kind of cramping up a little bit. And then eventually moved down to my calf and my shin. And this was at like mile 17, I think. And I felt like I was getting stabbed in like my shin calf area, and it hurt so bad. I've never felt that before. So I don't know if it was a cramp or just something to do with the nerve or muscle. I don't know. But it ended up going away at like mile 20. And by that point, I was pretty beat up. And then Heartbreak Hill obviously hit, and other 3 hills were pretty crazy too. I mean, Heartbreak Hill was tough, but the other 3 were just as tough for me, honestly. Rudy was feeling good too. Plan was to run a 237. He ended up running a 237, so shout out to him. That was a PR for him as well. So he ran one heck of a race, and it was so sad watching him pull away from me at like mile 16. I'm like, oh no. Tried so hard to keep up, but I just couldn't do it.
Mile 20, Heartbreak Hill, let's go. I'm feeling it for sure.
I think like mile 21 or something, I ran like a 6:08. I'm like, all right, I can get back into this. But then another hill came, and I went back to like a 6:20 pace. Like, oh no. And then before you know it, I saw the sit go sign. And I knew I was close, so I just kept pushing, tried to go a little harder. And at this point, I kind of still thought I was going to go sub 240. I knew it would be close, so I was just kind of trying to hammer down and stay with the people that were around me, because I was getting past quite a bit the last mile. So I was trying to go with the flow, but I just couldn't do it. And then the final turn on Boylston Street, I knew I wasn't going sub 240. I looked at my watch, and I'm like, holy crap, this is a lot longer than I thought. That final stretch is pretty far. Kind of hit me, honestly, on that final stretch. Like, man, I just did that. Didn't go sub 240, didn't run a 237, but still a 4-minute PR. So I was super happy, and just was kind of taking it all in the last 100 yards. And then, yeah, crossed the finish line and saw 240. I was still very happy, kind of bummed at the same time, but more happy than bummed. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Very, very fulfilled and happy with the whole experience. And if you ever get a chance to run Boston, definitely run it. If it was a normal block, it would have been, I probably would have run faster if I had like proper like hill training and whatnot. Sadly, 90% of my runs were on the treadmill, so it was rough. And I kind of figured the hills might hurt me a little bit because I had like no hill training besides like a few hill workouts when the roads were somewhat bare. But other than that, roughest winter I remember. I think we got 250 plus inches of snow. So for how my block went and for how much I ran on the treadmill, to still run a 240 at Boston, I'm very happy with it. This is it, the last video of Boston, and don't really know what the summer's going to hold for me. I'm probably going to do a few short races, 5Ks, 10Ks, and then end of summer, early fall, I'll probably do another marathon. So, yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching this series. If you're a new subscriber, thank you. Yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Not sure when it'll be, but hopefully sooner and later. Thanks for watching.